Hello, Craig here, also known as Poolside Dreamer. It's May 19th, 2022. This is an update on my potato plants. The top growth seems to be doing extremely well. This right here is from the 3 seed potato packs that I planted. One here on the far right isn't doing as well, but since I fertilized it, it seems to have picked up some. The one back there in the bag is still growing, not as well as the ones up front here. This is the red potatoes that are organic from the store. That is doing well, and I'm still getting some flowers. I'm not getting any seed production, which is fine. I don't really need that anyway. These potatoes I planted here with the green beans, well, they're okay. They're coming up slowly. The green beans haven't come up yet. The potatoes I planted in these cardboard boxes are doing fairly well. We'll see what kind of harvest I get once they finally die back. But so far, so good. That box right there is the most recent one I planted. You see they're doing all right. I planted these from those sprouted skins. Got to water all these in thoroughly. Maybe add some more soil to some of these. These volunteer potato plants over here seem to be doing okay. Got this big one right here. And that one, and that one. Oh, and one right here. And another one right here. Surprise. Didn't realize I had those till just now. And these potatoes here are doing all right also. The sun hasn't killed the greenery yet, so hopefully they're still making potatoes. On a slightly different note, this tomato plant is doing extremely well, at least for me. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 tomatoes that look like they're either ready to pick or about ready to pick. So far the birds don't seem to have gotten to them. This area gets more sun than the other areas of my yard, so hopefully I'll be able to successfully grow tomatoes in this area in the future. The mulch seems to have helped keep the moisture in. The other potato plant I have, which I'll show you in a minute, I did not mulch, and it's not doing as well. That's this one here, no mulch, and the tomatoes are not ripening as quickly, and I'm getting more die-off on the bottom leaves. Some of them look like they've already fallen. This does look like some kind of blight, and I forget what it's called, but take that off. One right there. At any rate, I'm gonna look up and see what I can do about that. This little potato plant right here in the midst of my green beans is still growing. Never did get very big, but something is better than nothing. And I don't know what happened to my grape plants. They're dying off. Leaves are. This happened a couple years ago too, and I lost the entire plant. Or actually 2 plants I had. Disappointing. But it's still growing. I've got long vines. I need to get those done something with. My green peppers. And these aren't doing so hot. Got one of those. In fact, I've got 2 of those there. So, still don't know what kind of peppers those are. Got a little green pepper here. Over here I've got some better growth on my green peppers. They're big enough to be picked. Don't know that I'll pick them just yet, but they're big enough. My pea plants are finally gone. The last little bit of green I had on them went away. So I'll be pulling these down here in the next day or so. This little tomato plant here is doing well. It's not very big, but it's not supposed to be. And it's got a ton of tomatoes on it. So I'm pleased. The ripe tomatoes I have gotten off of this plant were very, very sweet. And it looks like my green beans are starting to give up the ghost. I've only got one good harvest off of them. And then a couple very, very small harvests. I imagine in another few weeks these will be completely gone. Let's see what else I planted here. Never did harvest any more of these seeds on the lettuce, but I have more than enough as it is, so I'm gonna pull this out. My volunteer asparagus plant is doing well. This is the second year. Started from seed yet last year. So another year or so it'll be big enough to actually get a couple spears of asparagus off of them. This little strawberry plant here is barely hanging on. It's the last one I transplanted. My squash over here, I don't know what's wrong with it. It looks like they've been fertilized, but then they're doing this number. The ground is still damp under there, so it can't be a lack of water. And this one, while it's still growing, it's not producing anything at all. These strawberry plants are doing fine. Some of them are dying back a little, but that's not totally unexpected. My little moringa trees here, I think it's probably time to pot them up a little bit more larger. Just potted them up a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know, I may give them a few more days. The coffee plants, they're just getting too much sun back here, even though they only get morning sun. Yay, and I like my tea. This mint is coming back after I pulled it from out there. It's more in the shade, so it's doing better. Catnip is doing fine. And these two mint plants are doing all right, although that one looks like it may be in need of being pulled out of the shade. This pansy or whatever it is still doing okay. That was the volunteer one that was growing out of the stuff I decided to compost. Just threw it in this planter. And these grape plants, what can you say about them? The leaves are dying back on them. I don't know. Yeah. Yep, the ground is still moist. And this Meyer lemon, that's what it is, a Meyer lemon. It's coming back nicely. It just sat here for more than a month without growing, but it's doing okay now. This pomegranate bushes still got a couple flowers on it. I was at the Home Depot yesterday, and they still had some of their pomegranate plants on sale, and I did find a female plant. I'm sorry, I did find a plant with a couple female flowers on it, and I went ahead and took a picture of those, and I will put that in right about here. So this is the male flower. See, it's thinner here. I thought that meant it was female, but I was wrong. So I stand corrected. Oh, it's dead anyway. I haven't had any female flowers on these plants at all. And here are my other 3 pomegranates that I purchased as live plants. And they're not doing any flowering, but they're still growing nicely. And these broccoli plants aren't doing anything. They did have a nice head, very small heads of broccoli on them, but there was all kinds of eggs on them down into the nooks and crannies and crevices from the moth. They got a hold of moths that laid their eggs on them. So I tried washing them off, but I couldn't get them all off, so never ate any of it. And I'm getting some volunteer basil there and over there. So I don't have a problem with having enough basil for this year. And finally, my banana plants are doing well. They finally adjusted to the heat and to the increased sunlight out here. They're not burning anymore. And I'm trying to keep them well watered and fertilized. We'll see how long they last. And last but not least are these pomegranate plants that I grew from seed. They're still growing. They haven't flowered. I do have that one right there that I purchased from a online nursery. It's right there. It's growing and flowering, but looks like the flowering season is done on these. And the rest of these are doing okay. So far I've only lost one, and that's probably because I didn't water it enough. I don't know. It's right there. Right there. So with the final look of what's left in my garden, I'm going to call it a day. Y'all take care. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye-bye. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without mentioning my bowl of kitchen scraps I want to bury in the garden. So, once again, y'all take care. Bye.